Well, welcome everyone to today's episode of TMI Advice You Didn't Want. Today we're talking about a topic that is definitely really difficult for Ashley and myself. And that's just a topic of getting yourself in the to-do mode and eventually overwhelming yourself. And I know that this is so relatable to everybody out there that's listening, because let's be honest, this is like something that I see in our culture is super prevalent, and it's hard to get out of this cycle. So we're going to talk about that today. So in case we haven't met, I'm Karin. I am one of the co-hosts here.
And my name is Ashley, and yeah, I'm excited to talk about this because this has been definitely the last couple of weeks for me, for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, you want to share what's been going on for you the last couple of weeks and like how you're like how this is like really relating for you?
Well, we've been in like a 3-year process of going to court where we thought we were going last January, then it was December, then it was February, and now it's in May. And so it's like constantly having that pushback, but being fully prepared. And that's stressing for sure on the system.
Mhm.
And so we did do 3 days of court where I self-represented for my partner. And then I think it was 2 weeks before court, we found out that we were getting evicted because our landlord was going to move back in. So in the court process, we're also thinking about where we're going to live. And I'm kind of one of those people that once we know something's happening, it's just like that it's happening.
Let's
So
do it.
we
Yeah,
had
let's do this now. Yeah.
otherwise it's just on the back of your brain and you're like you feel unrounded kind of thing. And
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
we had till April 1st, but I'm like, let's try to find something for March 1st. And I was even trying to find something for mid-February, having 3 days of court in the first week of February. So that was crazy. And so we were looking for a place to live and then moved for March 1st. We're successful in finding a great place, a huge blessing for us. And then I have had shingles because of wonderful stress.
The
Um,
overwhelm. Yeah.
yeah, since January. So, and I have had a very rundown immune system in the past, and I have had shingles in the past, so it's kind of more common for me to get it more easily now. And then we moved, and then the kids had 2 weeks of spring break. So I work at their school. That's kind of my only commitment, and it's right in the middle of my day. So if I'm having like a calm day, it kind of feels like it disrupts it. If I'm having a productive day, it kind of feels like it disrupts it. But it's such a vital part to them just feeling good. Like
Mhm.
they find that so comforting. So I haven't taken that out of my life. So we have 2 weeks of spring break, and I have my kids week on, week off, and I'm like, hey, and I've been waiting for this since the beginning of February. And
Mm.
I'm gonna have 1 week of just like bliss with the kids and go all out. So like we did snowboarding, winter carnival. I had 250 Easter eggs for them and 18 other kids, and then all their families came over for lunch. Like did lots of stuff. And then the next week was going to be I do whatever I want. I eat whatever I want. I'm going to have as many massages and chiro appointments and all the things as much as I want. And I was going to have my like holiday at home and just like do all the self-care I wanted. And then the day before the kids left, I found out my grandma passed away. And being the oldest grandchild, I was basically put in charge without being in charge of the funeral and the eulogy and the obituary and everything. And that was the same thing when my great grandma died as well. And so then I was like, okay. And I go into this like weird, like desensitize everything and just like don't allow myself to
Do it.
feel anything because that's how I get through it, which is so unhealthy and
Hmm.
exhausting for later.
Hmm.
And so that was my self-care week, ended up being driving 13 hours through the night and then another 3 hours the next morning and being around all my family that is sometimes very hard to be around. And then doing the funeral in those 3 days and then staying for an extra day and then driving another 13 hours home. And then we're here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so that's where I'm like, okay, like, and as we're doing all this, I'm thinking about my garden, my chickens, my new business venture, my other business venture, and all the things. And it's insane. So,
Yeah, no, I mean, this is so relatable because this is literally how like I run my life. I see a lot of other people running their life. And you brought up a really important point that I feel like I want to kind of like dig into that a little bit. You were talking about how you're like, okay, I'm going to have this week where I'm going to work really hard and then next week it's all about me, it's all about self-care, but then it turned into something else. How
Mhm.
many times does that happen where
Oh,
you're
so
like,
often.
oh, I'm going to put off my self-care. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to do it every day. I'm not going to like just intermittently put it in through my day. I'm just going to put it off for next week. I'm going to do it. And then inevitably something happens and it's like, oh crap. The week that I thought was going to be my big self-care week is no longer my self-care week. I know I do this, or at least this was my MO. I'm really like, I about 3 years ago, I was like, I can't do that anymore because that was
Yeah.
really my MO. And I was like, I'm not gonna do anything except for when I'm on vacation for myself, like that kind of thing. And it was killing me. I was literally getting sick all the time. And actually, no, it was about 4 years ago now that I think about it.
Mhm.
But it was like, no, I need to stop doing that. I need to actually put my self-care
Yeah.
every single fucking day. Like this is not negotiable. And when I
Mhm.
started doing that, like for me, the big self care was meditating every single day. Like without that, like my body, my brain just does not feel right. And
Yeah.
it's like some people will look at me and be like, oh, you're meditating because it's a thing that you do, or like it's just something you do. And I'm like, no, that is my self care. Like that is
Yeah.
my deep self care that without it, I would be, and I've tried this before because I was like, well, what would happen if I didn't meditate for a day? You feel so weird. You're like,
Mhm.
oh my God, like I feel like I'm not here. I'm kind of spacey, like something's off. Like that was my chance to get grounded and now I don't feel that. And it's like, oh, okay, this is so important. And so that's something that I learned 4 years ago, but I still, even though I meditate every day, I still find myself getting back into this pattern. And I was just at a Dr. Joe advanced follow-up retreat. And every time I go, I learn something new about myself. And this wasn't what I learned wasn't new this time. It was something I already knew, but it was like, no, you need to stop. Like for me, I am the person that if I stop doing something, I'm like, well, what do I do next? Kind of thing. So, for example, I was kind of thinking that I wanted to walk away from one of my businesses. Um, over a year ago, right? I was kind of thinking like, what do I want to do? Like, I don't know that this is it. And instead of giving myself time to pause, I jumped straight into another business and found myself working myself to death, overwhelming myself.
Mhm.
Actually, like you can hear it in my voice still slightly, but I am starting to heal it, I can tell. But I developed allergies in it started in January for me too. Like I ended up getting a really bad sinus infection and I'm like, damn, I never get sick. Like I never get sick, but I got a really bad sinus infection that then ended up being like lasting all the way till now. And I'm like, okay, this is absolutely allergies at this point. And I'm not normally somebody that is affected by the pollen and the environment and all of that, but I can tell that I am now. And it's
Yeah.
because I've been doing for so long. And finally my body's like, hey, stop it. What the fuck are you doing? Like you need to calm down.
Yeah.
And so I'm at this Dr. Joe retreat. And I find it so synchronistic and so not coincidental that I sat next to this girl, right? So, this girl sat next to me during this one meditation. She hadn't been sitting next to me all day, but she had come down to sit next to me during this one meditation. And whenever you're done the meditation, a lot of times you go take a break and then you come back and you sit down and you talk to your neighbor about what you experienced during your meditation. The first thing she said to me was, I just make things way too hard. I overwhelm myself, all of this. And like, I'm like, Are you in my head right now? Is this literally like what the fuck? Like how do you know that this is exactly what I experienced as well? Because
That's
during the
awesome.
meditation, it was like what I experienced was you make things way too hard, Karin. Things do not need to be this difficult.
Hmm.
You work too hard. You don't need to. If you want to, great. Like that's the thing. Like if you want to work hard, go for it. But
Yeah.
you do not have to. And it was like, you make it way too difficult. There are a
Hmm.
lot of things in life that can just come to you easily, which is what I want. And
Hmm.
that's the reason this came to me. I want more things to continue to just come to me so easily and so effortlessly.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you want that, you have to meet it at the same vibrational frequency. Otherwise, it will not come to you. So
Hmm.
you have to go into your life with a sense of ease and flow, not a sense of overwhelm. And I have to do this, I have to do that. In order for the ease and flow to come to you, you have to live your life in a sense of ease and flow. And I'm like, God damn it. It's true. And it's like, how easy is it to get into a cycle? Because I personally believe this is totally a Dr. Joe teaching too. I personally believe that we teach our bodies how we want to act every single day. So it now turns into this animal that is on autopilot. So if you're this animal on autopilot that's anxious, overwhelmed, always feeling like you have to do something, always on the go, the whole deal, you're training your body that you can't ever stop, that you have to always be going, going, going in order to create in your life. And so, what does
Hmm.
that create? More need to do, more need to strive, more need to work hard in order to create something. And
Yeah.
I look at my life and I'm like, I want to create something different. I want so much more ease and flow. And I do think that in 2023, I really stepped into this pretty hard because I started to see more things come to me with ease and flow than ever before, whether
Hmm.
it was money or people or things or whatever. Like maybe I had a thought and it would come to me really easily. I started to see that. But now when I look at my business, I'm like, I want that in my business because I've never experienced that in my business. I've always had to work hard. And
Yeah.
so the answer is stop striving and just be and experience more. And I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, it's not easy though, because I'm not used to it. My body is used to the going, going, going all the time.
Well, and it's an inner childhood trauma programming. Like,
Absolutely.
our generation more than any other were achievement based. Like we felt love with being achieving.
Hmm.
So you get good grades. Like I cannot believe how instilled this was in me. Like you get good grades, you get a good job, you
Hmm.
find a good partner, and you both have good jobs, you buy the nice house, you have the good kids, and you have a wonderful life. And I followed it pretty good. My dad kind of set me up in a way that made it exciting for me in the beginning. Um, and so I was very studious and got very good grades. And what he said to me, I can't remember what grades it all applied for, but I think he told me in like as early as grade 6, if you have straight A's, I will buy you a car when you turn 16. And so I was like,
Okay.
and so I focused and had straight A's and um, got my car when I turned 16. My brother and sister did not have straight A's. They got their car when they were 16 too. And
Ah, damn it.
I don't think he
Damn it.
ever told them that rule. But my parents, when I was a kid, I was the oldest. They were broke as fuck. And by the time my sister was 16, they were one of the wealthiest people in our town. And so very different lives. So like for him, he probably when he told me I'll buy you a car when you're 16, he was probably like, oh my God, like she can't have straight A's. I'm never gonna be able to do it kind of thing. Like
Right.
he was not pessimistic like that, but like it would have been a task for him to buy me a car. And he is very good with money. So he would have been able to do it. But it would have stretched them financially. Whereas by the time my brother and sister got there, it wasn't a stretch, especially for my sister. So different, but I don't think he ever said that to them. Um, and so I definitely followed that get good grades kind of thing. And then I got sick in grade 12, and I was on the track to, I wanted to be an eye surgeon. That was my thing at that time. And I wanted to be a Doctors Without Borders and travel the world as an eye surgeon. And um, grade 12, I missed 75% of my grade 12 year. Still had straight A's, but definitely it was like I don't want to be on this conveyor belt. Like, while that lifestyle sounds wonderful, I'm like, I I think I realized in that moment of missing that much school, how much I didn't like school, how much I didn't like the system. Also, the system was failing me with how sick I was. And it just made me question everything. And I got off that conveyor of achievement and really went into this weird place of entrepreneurship and everything. And my parents are entrepreneurs as well, but it was never a route my dad wanted me to take. He wanted me to have education, and he wanted me to have that achievement. And that is in us. I was watching a video the other day, and it was like, if you're at home relaxing, and when someone walks in the door, you like sit up and pretend you're doing something kind of thing. And I was just like, oh my God, I do that. I do that.
Ugh. Yeah, ugh
And
though.
I know. And it's like my partner, my kids, my parents, like I'm 35. Like if I'm not being productive the second they walk in the door, that's okay. Like it does not matter at all. And yeah, it's like this like thing in me, like where I'm like, I have to be going when someone walks in the door because it's that achievement kind of idea. And that's how we were raised as kids. And this weekend with my family, some of my family are incredibly lazy, like did not do anything to help with funeral or household or food or anything like that. And so when we got back from my grandpa's house, my dad and my partner were talking about how much they don't like lazy people. And I'm like, that again is like
yeah.
guiltiness of, and like, yes, like this family is to the point where it's more of a like, or not family, but the people in my family, it's more of a I want everyone to do everything for me kind of situation, and I'm not going to help or contribute. So that is lazy. But I also know that my dad and Derek are in that like achievement mindset trap of if you're not productive always, you're not. And when you are resting, like you're doing, like Derek rests by playing video games. He's doing, like he doesn't just ever be. And I'm like, the most important thing for us is to just be.
Yeah.
And one of these very, very successful men, I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now for some reason. He was who the Rich Dad was written about.
I don't
but I can't
remember.
his name.
Yeah, I'm not gonna remember that right now.
And so one of my mentors and bosses, or if you call them that, they were being mentored by him. And they said that he schedules every day just quiet time, which is similar to meditating, right? And he just allows whatever ideas to come to him for him to write down. And then he has, I think it's a 3-hour time block once a week where he does nothing. And he said all of his best stuff has come from that time. And that's where meditating or anything like calming and being with your thoughts is so, so important. And with like the kids, they say, oh, I'm bored. I'm like, great. Boredom is
perfect.
The best thing
Yeah.
ever. And they now have stopped saying they're bored because almost always my answer.
Probably are like, good for you. You're doing great.
Yeah. So, but I'm like figure things out, like that's like find creativity and occupy your mind and be with your thoughts. Like that's so powerful. So Yeah, I think that's really in our programming. And I think that's also why we're having as much sickness as we are right now. Like how you're talking about how you have had a sinus thing forever. There's so many people this year that have said, I've been so sick for so long. And I think it also comes with like, yeah, let's isolate everyone and then
Yeah.
everyone can back out. Like those are
Yeah.
like recipes for not having your body prepped and to be able to handle germs. But I'll also, like for me, every time I'm like, oh, there's a break right around the corner, or I go on a holiday, I get sick every time because my body's like, oh, finally we can shut down because
Mhm.
we're not in that hyper go, 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 go
Yeah.
state. And then there's also the times where it's like, okay, I'm in this hyper go, go, go state. And my body's like, can you fucking stop?
Mhm.
And the only way I'll stop is if I get sick. And so I've been in that hyper state, especially with kids, and not really having the same prep time because they became an instant family of three
Right.
children and
Right. Yeah, you
went
did not
right
prep
into
for that.
sports. Yeah. And so like it was like all like move, COVID, kids, court, boom, like all at once. And I was in a very high paced business at the time. And so it was just like, wow. And I've slowed down a lot in a lot of ways, but also like court has been going on for 4 years almost now. Like it was over 4 years ago that we started the process. And so it's definitely exhausting and draining on your body. And so while I do those little like daily self-care things, our body needs way more than
More.
that.
Yeah.
And I used to go on a vacation and a holiday on a very regular basis, and I haven't been partially because of COVID and everything else, but I haven't been on a real holiday in 6 years.
Mm.
And to have gone from like every 3 to 6 months to 6 years, that's insanity.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. And you
Yeah.
talked about like our body, like we need that self-care throughout the day kind of thing. But like 10 minutes here or there, it's not enough. Your body needs more. But
Yeah.
we are so conditioned and programmed to think that if we sit and do absolutely nothing, I'm not even talking about watching TV, like we're doing nothing. We
Yeah.
are so programmed to be so uncomfortable with that. Like,
Mhm.
if you don't think you're uncomfortable with that, like if you're listening right now, sit on the couch and do nothing.
Yeah.
Like, just look around and experience, or go outside, look around and experience. What do you feel immediately? I know for me, when I first started doing this, it was like antsy. I felt so antsy. Like, what do I do now? What do I do next? What was like, do all the time. And it's like, that is so exhausting. And it causes this, like, this need to continue to do more.
Mhm.
And this is something I just recently left a business partnership like what 2 weeks ago, right? Because I was realizing that I was in a do mode, and so weren't my business partners, even though when we first started we were like for me, I was like, I'm not doing it again. I'm not getting in the do mode. And then we found ourselves in the do mode. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And for me, I realized that I was misaligned with
Mhm.
the way we were building our business a long time ago, but I ignored it. And as a
Mhm.
result, I got sick. I got sick again. I got sick again. And I'm like, I never get sick, but my body was telling me, hey, you're
Mhm.
misaligned. And
Yeah.
each time it happened, I knew. Each
Mhm.
time it happened, I was like, okay, I'm going to do better this time. I'm going to slow
Yeah.
down this time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I finally just like pulled the plug completely and was like, nope, I'm not doing
Mhm.
this anymore. Like, I
Yeah.
remember this is how misaligned I was with that business. One of my business partners was like, I think I'm just addicted to the struggle. And I'm like, yeah, and I was, but I am no longer that person. I'm
Yeah.
not interested in being addicted to working and struggling and striving and working and more and doing and doing. I am not, that is not what I want to create in my life anymore.
Yeah.
Because you get on that path And it's very like the longer you stay on that path, the harder it is to break that pattern.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, Dr. Joe has a book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. That
Hmm.
is a habit pattern that
Hmm.
unless you decide you want to get off that train, you are going to continue to think and feel equal to
Hmm.
the addiction of struggle or the addiction of doing, the addiction of doing something all the time instead of going, wow, look at what I just created right now. Can I just sit and be in this for a little while? Like, that's not something that we're really used to doing.
Yeah.
But
Well,
as
not at
you
all.
said, like when you do actually sit, and that guy that's like, yeah, I sit for 3 hours and I'm most productive when I sit and do nothing because my best ideas come from that. There's something so special that comes when you do take that time and actually sit and be.
Yeah, for sure. No, I completely agree. And that's where when you don't, you like I get sick, you get sick,
Mhm.
like your body's telling you something. Um, and that's also why we had talked about the Louise Hay book too.
Mhm.
Because if you look up your symptoms, you can often find the information there too. Um, and I was going to say something on that point too, and it just slipped my mind, so it might not be needed to say, but yeah, so funny.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, for myself, um, being outside of, like I said, I left that business 2 weeks ago. And having gone to the Dr. Joe event, it was like, you need to be more, make it more simple, let it flow, just simplify your life. That's what it all comes down to.
Yeah,
And that was what I experienced. That was the big message from this past weekend. And it's hard to do because I'm so used to it. I'm so
yeah,
used to the going, the doing, the striving, the working
yeah.
that I'm like, oh my God, if I don't do something, I'm going to
Hmm.
fall behind. Like that's the first thought that comes to my head, but I have to catch the thought. Like this is the thing. Like if you want to keep thinking and feeling the way you've been thinking and feeling, keep thinking the thought that, oh, if I don't do anything or if I'm lazy, nothing good is going to happen in my life. Keep thinking that thought. You'll continue to create the life that you've been creating. But if
Hmm.
you catch the thought of, oh, I'm not doing anything, or somebody just walked in the door, I need to do something right now,
Yeah.
catch yourself when you do that and go, wait a minute, like I don't have to do anything. And
Hmm.
so that for me is the biggest victory when I
Hmm.
stop myself and I go, I don't need to do anything right now. I don't
Hmm.
need to I don't need to strive. I can, for the first time, probably since I've started my business, my family is in town and I can actually enjoy my family.
Hmm.
That is huge because I've been in a business for nearly 10 years, right? And every time I've gone to see them or they've come to see us, I've always had some sort of business, something that I feel like I need to do before I can go hang out with them.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't have to do that anymore.
Hmm.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That alone opens up not only my body to heal, my brain to heal, but it also gives more possibility of what might happen differently in my life.
Yeah.
Like when you start to do and start to think more, it's the think because the thought is what's creating the action. But when you
Hmm.
start to think a different pattern than what you were thinking before, you start to notice more possibilities open up for you that
Yeah.
might not have been there when you were like, oh, I have so much to do. I'm overwhelmed. I have work to do. Like you can't get outside of yourself when you're in that state of overwhelm and doing and doing and doing. You can't step outside of yourself and become the observer because you're so inundated with this is what's happening right now. I've got to get this done. And when you give yourself time to just be and sit for 3 hours, you can
Hmm.
now become the observer of your life and you can
Hmm.
start to notice patterns that you're like, yeah, I don't want to keep doing that because I know if I keep doing that, I'll keep getting this result.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so when you start to notice and you start to see, oh, the anxious, overwhelm, the doing is creating this in my life,
Hmm.
what if I just stop completely?
Hmm.
And just like an addict, your body's going to want to go right back to it because it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable to
Hmm.
step away from doing what your body's been used to.
Yeah.
Just like an addict, you're going to be like craving. Maybe you're a sugar addict, right? You're going to be craving that sugar. You told
Hmm.
yourself, I'm going to go on a 30-day fast from sugar. And your
Yeah.
body now, 10 hours in, you're like, I just really want a ding dong. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And your body is going to crave it. And it's going to be so uncomfortable at first. Like a lot of times people are like, do what feels good. And I am so on board with that. But when you actually start to change a pattern, when you start to change a habit pattern, it actually doesn't feel good at first.
Yeah.
It feels the opposite of good because your body is like, I'm so used to this. Your
Hmm.
body chemically wants that hit. Your
Yeah.
body chemically is like, I want the hit of anxiety. I want the hit of adrenaline that you get when you feel anxious or overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm craving it right now. And
Hmm.
when you tell your body, no, I'm not doing that, your
Yeah.
body is like, but wait, it's so uncomfortable. But what's beautiful is when you start to practice this, and I know this from experience, when you start to practice this and you start to tell your body, no, I'm not going to think that way, I'm not going to act that way, and I'm not going to feel that way. When
Hmm.
you start to break those patterns, you start to feel your body start to release a lot of things that you were probably holding on to. I
Yeah.
know for me, when I start to get into a habit pattern of doing, going, the whole deal, my right hip hurts, aches. I will be in bed and I'll be like, damn it, I'm doing it again. I am trying to force, I am trying to make this happen. I'm overwhelmed, I'm anxious. My right hip aches. And it's
Yeah.
like my whole right leg is just like pissed off at me. And I'm like, I did it again. I'm back in that thinking and feeling loop that I don't want to be in. So
Yeah.
it's just like we go back to the whole Louise Hay thing. Like with Louise Hay, like that book is a really good guide. It's not the end all be all, obviously, but it's a really good guide of looking to see, okay, I'm experiencing this symptom. What might be the thought that I'm thinking that's creating this? And
Hmm.
and so it kind of gives you a hint to step
Yeah.
outside of yourself and become the observer for yourself so that you can actually stop being addicted to that
Yeah.
anxious, that overwhelm, that anxiety that's not serving you anymore, is actually creating this habit pattern that is keeping you sick, keeping you stuck, or whatever it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we are so programmed in that. But once we get out of that or out of that as a like majority, that's where that little self-care here and there does work.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I know I've been functioning at a mostly burnout stage for all of my
Mm-hmm.
adult life.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had little pieces of short times where I'm like, okay, I'm not functioning at a burnt out state, but I slip right back in really fast. And once you get out of that habit of like being in a constant burnout or whatever level it is for you that you function at on a normal, like that you're addicted to, once you get out of that, that's where you can do just a vacation a year and do little tidbits throughout your day and it works. But when you're trying to get out of like this burnout stage, you need a lot more than that. And that's what's hard.
Well, I mean, I feel like it goes back to like what I was saying, where it's like if you're thinking and feeling a certain way, you're going to continue to create
Yeah.
more and more of that. So if you're functioning at a burnout state, you're going to just keep attracting more things that burn you out. But
Yeah.
when you say, nope, I don't want to feel burnt out anymore. What do I need to start thinking and feeling, and how do I need to start acting in
Hmm.
order to start attracting more ease and flow in my life?
Yeah.
And so, one thing that I've been saying to myself, because I struggle sometimes with the need to control and have this anxiety around how things, oh, they didn't go the way that I needed it to go, right? Like when I notice that I start thinking or acting or feeling that way, I've started inserting this new thought of, wait, but isn't it fun when I get surprised by unknown experiences, though?
Yeah.
And so it stops me because I'm like, it is fun when I get surprised by something completely unknown and something completely new.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, like having kids has been like such a wonderful slap in the face.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I was like, hey, Aubrey's friend said she wanted to come over the day before. And I said yes. And I didn't get anything done. And so I have laundry all over my house because I just got home the night before and I didn't wash the kids' clothes that they had that week before. And I'm like, okay, so my house is a disaster, my kitchen is a disaster, and it overwhelms me so much when I am living in a messy space and I have kids, more my kids, or then more kids. And I'm like, okay, they can just come over and they'll play outside. No big deal, all good. And then as we're leaving the school, one of Atticus's really good friends, I ran into his mom and he was asking to come over for a play date today. And I'm like, honestly, it's fine. Like, I'm like, just go with the flow. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
So then he comes over. So now I have my three kids and another three kids. And then my cousin calls me like 5 minutes later. I just am walking into my house and she's like, hey, we're going to the park. You want to come? I'm like, well, I don't have room for my kids in my car now. I only have one extra seat or two. And so I'm like, you can come here though. So then her and her two kids came to our house slash the park by our house. And the kids ended up playing in the house. And I wasn't going to allow two extra kids to play in the house. And now I have five extra kids playing in the house. And
Mm.
then the my son and his friend wanted to make hot chocolate, and my kitchen is a disaster. And I said no, not yet, like three times. And then finally, I'm just like, you know what? It's a disaster. They're gonna make a mess. It is what it is. So I let them make their hot chocolate, and I'm watching them. They're like struggling to scoop it out. There's hot chocolate spilled all over the counter. They're pouring and spilling the water.
Mhm.
And it's like, this is part of them growing. And I
Mhm.
can just laugh at them
Mhm.
making an absolute mess, or I can be like, oh my God, like it's already a mess, it's now even messier, and all that kind of stuff. And like, I'm never to that degree, but inside, I'm like, oh, this is hard. I can just feel my shoulders
Mhm.
rising in tension. And so it's the easiest, best way for me to be like, we're just going to enjoy. It's just a
Mhm.
countertop. It's no big deal.
Mhm.
And we just had fun. And I had a relaxing, fun afternoon. The kids had a freaking blast, and my kitchen can get clean today.
And it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I love it. Well, I think that there's so much more to dive into on this type topic. But we're gonna have to say that's for another time because I think we've done a pretty good job on today's episode of TMI Advice You Didn't Want. But if you are watching us on YouTube, go ahead and give us a like and go ahead and follow us, subscribe. We'd love to hang out with you a little bit longer. And if you're on your favorite podcast hosting place, give us a 5 star. And also let us know, are there any questions you want us to answer? Any thoughts that you have after listening to what we talked about today? So we'd love to hear a little bit more from you. But with that, we are going to call today's episode of TMI Advice You Didn't Want a wrap. So we'll see everyone next time.